All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pro Trader and Plus Existing Home Sales. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember that all trades we discuss are for educational purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. Trade carefully. All right, let's get started. I fixed the webcam. Okay, so let me put the news up. We're looking at existing homes. And I'm just what I'm doing now is using the website investing.com to help me to watch the news results while we trade. I go to the website, I click on the calendar, tools, economic calendar, scroll down, get rid of the video advertisement. And I'm looking for existing homes. There it is. Then I shrink it all. All right. And I could do one of two things. I could really shrink it like that to the side. And leave the news right over here, because now it can be seen. I fixed my monitor situation with the charts. If I know that I'm only trading one setup and I don't need to trade on one of the charts, then I do like to integrate it this way. It's a little bit neater and cleaner to spread it wider like so. And it's just a question of the way you like to do it. So I'm just giving you some ideas. That's all. That's all I'm doing. So existing homes, I have a setup. I want to be real clear. We used to have a DMM for existing homes. It has not been trading well, but the last couple of months it's been a little bit better. I just want to make it very clear that we don't have a DMM anymore, because for the past year it has very poor impact. But it has been a little bit better, and I'll show you some videos. I'm going to trade it in the prop in the Top Step account, normal DMM, the way we would have had it with a normal DMM. I'll show you the settings. Let me just make my save of my template. Let me see if I can pull up an old DMM for everyone. I should have done that, but I didn't think of it. Let's do it. Let me see if I can find one. If I can't, sometimes when I search, it's hard to find the DMMs. I don't want to find one that's so old that it doesn't help us. So let me find a reasonably new one if I can. Okay, good. I've got one that's pretty recent. So here's the way we were trading existing homes when we had a DMM. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I got to find another one. We tried it for a while as a trap trade. Not a good way to do it. Not a good way to do it. I don't recommend doing it as a trap trade right now. Give me one more second. We'll find one. Here we go. Search and you will find it. So, a bracket of 8. And you could see for those 6 months in 2022 and 23, you notice that there's a lot of gaps in the dates, and that's because existing homes often trades with other news events. For instance, in January, it traded with preliminary University of Michigan, um, and it trades with other events very often. ISMs often trade with new homes. JOLTS trades with new homes. So when other reports trade with new homes does not become the report that we spend time on. It's a small report. You could see, look at the target size, 3 and 7 ticks. That tells you immediately that you have an event that just doesn't move markets. Okay, it just does not move the markets. Years ago, it did move the markets, and occasionally you'll get a report that does move the markets. But nowadays, 11 ticks in June of 22, 25 ticks in March of 23, 26 ticks in April of 23. All right. It's not now, if it moved 26 to 30 ticks all the time, that'd be great. But that's not the reality. This has not been a report that moves the markets big time anymore. Interestingly, let's look at February. Now, I have real trade room video of February. There was flash manufacturing at 9:45 that morning. Now, that's a reasonably important report, but I would say that the market calms down enough by 10 o'clock to trade existing homes. So here's February 22nd. Existing homes. We were trying a trap trade, okay? But you could still tell, is there a breakout? That works. So we're looking at the breakout. I don't care what the trap does because that's not our preferred method right now. You could see very small initial response. Also change direction, okay? So I did a replay of February, which will give us a better picture of what the breakout would have done. Actually, as a trap trade in February, it's a very small trap. It might have been okay, but March didn't work. And sometimes there's such small moves with existing homes that you just don't get a reversal. Ironically, we've looked at the trap. Occasionally, it gives you a setup that works, but overall, we don't like it. Let's look at the video I made of the replays of March and February. This was March 21st, using a bracket of 8. A very quick fill. Then the price kind of chops around a bit. Now I sped up the trade because it was so slow. So it took about 40 seconds or so, not quite, to have a pretty decent move to the downside. Was it caused by the news? I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Here it is again, March 21st. In normal speed, no speed up. So it fills us short. Not a bad move. Not a bad move at all in March. That's probably the only really good move that I've seen on existing homes in a while. But let's look at more videos and make sure that that's the case. So that was March, and then I have February. Here's February. pretty much trading by itself. Took a few seconds to fill. Okay, not a super fast fill. Not a super slow fill, just an average, not a big response from the news kind of fill. And then it just chops around a little bit like it did in January for a few seconds. I sped it up a little bit just because I didn't want to waste time. I don't like to speed trades up because it really gives you a false sense of security if it works. Because a lot of times you're not going to hang around that long. Okay. So it did move down and then change direction. So it might have hit your stop if you move your stop to safety. Now, don't forget the markets are opening now. That's why you have all this volatility. Don't let it scare you. Let's look at some real video now. Got to go back to November for the next existing homes trade. So we're in November. Trying the trap. We tried the trap trade for a few months. It looked interesting for a while, but the last two, not great. Not great. In fact, last month would have stopped out the trap, would have blown right through it. You don't quite have enough movement at the current time for a good trap. You know, on a trap, the perfect trap trade is a quick bursting fill and a quick reversal. Obviously, that's the dream trap trade. A burst and an immediate, a whipsaw is what you want on a trap trade. Did you ever think you would wish for a whipsaw? Well, when you're trading a trap trade, you wish for a whipsaw. So November, just watching the behavior of gold, if you have an 8 bracket, we would not have gotten filled to the short side, okay? So it would have been a long breakout, and it would have been okay. The breakout would have been okay. Then if we go back to October, I'm thinking we're probably back to still trying the traps. We tried traps for quite a while. And just, you need a good sized move, ideally, to get a reversal. So in October, not a very impactful move. One of the big problems with existing homes has been small response to the news. And in October, it was a pretty small response to the news, up and down also. No real direction from the market. Finally, it goes down. Okay. And you do have a safe trap trade going back to October. October, the trap would have worked. Okay. October, the trap would have worked. Let's see what happened in August. August, you had negative news. Richmond Manufacturing traded with new homes that day. And you could see the price pushed up. Now the trap tiers are very small, 8 ticks, 8 and 18. Now that looked like a pretty good breakout because it went up and then it pushed up on an explosion, kept going up. That would have ruined the trap trade. August would have ruined the trap trade. And then September, one more. August was a great breakout. And September, back to the breakout in September. Slow response. Not unusual to get a very minimal response to the news. One of the problems with homes, there's no inventory. Um, I know people looking for a house and they can't find anything to buy. Also, obviously, rates are high. They're not astronomically high. I mean, years ago, we had normal rates. I would say that today's mortgage rates are normal. 6, 7%. That's normal. Five to 8% is it's what banks need to make profits, right? Or if a company's loaning you money, they don't do well earning 2%. Now, look, a lot of forget that I'm really saying that these companies have so much money. You have millions of customers at 2%, you're making plenty of money. I guess the point I'm trying to make is 2% mortgage rates were not normal. They were very low. We had very, very low mortgage rates for many, many, many years. While they are shockingly high to many people today, they are not so high that you can't afford to do things. It just makes it harder to buy a house. So until people get used to, and cars, it's also difficult. The cost of cars is very difficult. It creates inflation. And the rates have not gone down. Yeah, the rates aren't going to go down unless they keep cutting, right? If they start cutting. So rates have just gone up for the past, year and a half since they've been raising. But the rates as they are today, my only point is 6% mortgage rates is not outrageously high. It's relatively normal. 2% is outrageously low. I would say above 10%, or maybe even above 9%, then you're getting into real high rates. And a lot of people would argue with me. What I'm saying is we got used to such abnormally low rates that when rates went up somewhat, people were in shock. So there's less inventory. It's harder to buy houses. It definitely adds to inflation. All of the, certainly we'd much rather have low rates. I don't care if the banks don't make billions and billions and billions. Here's our setup for existing homes, and I'll trade it in my Top Step account. I think the past couple of months have been better as breakouts. We always used it as a breakout. I'm going to give it a shot with a bracket of 8, targets of 6 and 12. I'm going to go for 6 and 15. I'll move my stop to break even -2 if it hits my first target, and I'll use a 10 tick stop. All right, triggering at 9:59:59. We'll test our brackets by putting the time at 0. Markets are just starting to calm down a little bit. big gold sell-off at the open, obviously. Very big sell-off. Okay, there's our brackets. All right. Like I said, I'll give it a shot in my Top Step account. Not a great report. Okay, not a great report, but last couple of months it's showed a little bit of promise. So I'll give it a shot. See if we get any movement out of the report. I won't cancel instantly. Okay, I will not cancel instantly. I'm watching the ES in my regular account, and you could do the reversal. You should get some movement on the ES on home sale reports. So if you want, you could do an MES. I'm not trading live, I'm just watching it, simming it in my with one ES contract. Okay, we'll go for 12 tick target. We'll use a 10 tick stop. All right, and only interested if looks like there's some sort of an opportunity. I don't think existing homes will create that much of an opportunity. But remember, there is price movement on the ES at 10 o'clock. There is a 10 o'clock move that takes place in the indexes, whether or not there's news or not. And it's exacerbated when there is news. Okay. So I'm just doing a simple reversal continuation. One position, 12 tick target, 10 tick stop. Labeling like we always do, REV, REV. So we've got our Top Step trade on the left. We've got our, see if there's any kind of reversal continuation on the ES on the right. We want to check our time sync, right? By going to time is, and the computer's in sync. Let me go to my YouTube screen and just see if my stream is working. Give me a second, folks. We're going to stream every day. See if we can get we have a lot of people signed up, a lot of members on our YouTube channel, not bad at all. And we want to build it up. And, if you're not home, you want to stream and see what happened, you could watch it on your phone. We just want to do it regularly instead of just once a week. All right, so we'll do an email. We'll let everyone know when we start officially. I think I've figured it out and I have all the technology working. All right, so we are a good 6.5 minutes or so away from the news. The ES has calmed down a bit. It's sold off on the open. And now it's back, almost back to where it was. And we will stick around for natural gas. Okay. Going to stick around for natural gas. Maybe we'll take a 2-minute break. So just looking at the chart, without shrinking my chart and screwing up my brackets, gold was 24, let's say it was 2402. Let's say 2400. It went all the way more than $10 in less than 10 minutes. You gotta, gold is on crack. It really is on crack. Definitely makes it harder to trade some of the news events when gold is so volatile. Because you have to be aware of not getting filled before the news comes out. You don't want to get filled before the news is released. And then what we experience is sometimes when an instrument is so volatile and when a news report is not a huge impact report, then the volatility of the market contaminates the result of the news. So one more time, this was last month's existing home sale. Eight tick bracket, filled pretty quick, chopped around a little bit. And then it burst down. Now that was sped up a little bit. Then I did it again without the speed up so you could get a feel, but it was almost the same in terms of time. Right as I sped it up was right about the time it made that burst down. And bingo. So a very nice move last month. One more time, the setup. 959.59 on the trigger. Bracket of 8. Targets of 6 and 15 with a stop of 10. It's a little bit small on the stop. Target 1 stop move is break even -2. And we're trading it in our Top Step account. It's a little bit volatile, gold. It's definitely possible we could get filled too soon. That's the worry. You know, you're allowed to say, hey, I'm not going to trade it. When I think about the beige book volatility, I think that was one I should have traded. 2 minutes to go. And like I said, we will stick around for natural gas. If there's an opportunity on the ES for a possible change in direction, we'll consider that. I'm just testing that. So we've got 1 more minute to go. And then we'll be back in the afternoon at 3:30 for Netflix. The first big earnings trade of the quarter. So they're expecting 4.2 million on the forecast. I'm thinking it's going to be way under. But I don't know. I have no way to know that. And we don't normally trade based on what we think the news is going to be. Look at what happened with United Health. I would have bet my life that United Health would have been UNH would have been a short earnings trade, and it was a long. That was crazy. All right, so it pushed to the upside, hits the first target, move my stop to break even, chasing some extra profit here. Not going to get it. All right, made 60 bucks on it. Tried to chase it down a little bit, and it's choppy, choppy, choppy. Very close to what they were expecting. Very close to what they were expecting. So it hit my first target. So that was a target one, just a target one winner. I tried to grab that second target, and just it kept dropping on me. I couldn't grab it. Couldn't grab it. Pretty choppy today. Let's see if it keeps going up. It looks like, look how bullish gold is in general. In general, gold is bullish, but just not really, negative news usually is a push to the upside. But with the volatility on gold today, I'm turning off. Nothing happened on the ES here to write home about. I don't really see a trade here on the ES. Just not enough activity. All right, so let's end the video for existing homes. Small winner. Maybe we'll bring the DMM back. It seems to move the market enough. Maybe it's worth trading again. A target, if I can get a target one on any trade, if you protect your stop, if you protect your profit by moving your stop, then a target one can be a winner. If you don't protect, then a target one can be a loser. Because if your target one is 6 ticks and your stop is 10, and it hits your first target and reverses, that's a negative 4 ticks. So sometimes you must protect, right? You must protect your profit on your first target. All right. Everyone, thanks. Let me stop the stream.